My brother and I both had state records. My brother had a national record. Driving in a cold car at 5 in the morning headed to swim practice with your dad isn't always fun, but there was some payoff to it. And the life lessons that you learn from all of that carry with you forever. We both learned a lot, and it really made us who we are today.
Welcome to the Hard Way podcast with Joe De Sena, founder and CEO of Spartan Races. We're teaching you how to overcome your obstacles in your life the same way we teach our 10 million plus Spartans to overcome obstacles on the course, with insight from the smartest, most accomplished experts from every corner of the world. Get ready to elevate your life today.
Joe De Sena here, CEO and founder of Spartan, as well as the host of the Hard Way podcast. I got my buddy Steve Hasty on. He is all things swimming. He was a swimmer. His dad was a swim coach. He owns a swimming magazine. He makes medals in his spare time for swimmers. Like, this guy he's basically a dolphin. Welcome aboard, Steve.
It's good to be here.
So swimming, and like when I heard that I get to talk to somebody like in that space all day, every day, I got to say, they are pretty tough people. I mean, how many hours a day to be an elite swimmer, even at a high school level, how many hours a day are you putting in?
Oh, I'd say even for an elite level high school swimmer, you're looking at least 5 hours a day. You've got a morning workout, afternoon workout, plus dry land training. I'd say at least 5 hours.
5 hours every day. And I've heard, I don't know if this is true, I've heard that if you skip some days, you're going backwards. Like, you always have to be on as a swimmer.
You do, unless you're involved in some sort of taper, getting ready for a larger competition. There is a tapering format that allows you to skip a few days or skip a few practices leading up to the actual event. But otherwise, it is an everyday deal.
An everyday deal, and like for 10 years kind of thing?
It certainly can be. I think that there are breaks between seasons. There's a long course season, which is traditionally the summer, so it ends in August. The short course season runs from fall and winter. So you're going to see about a 1 month break in there during the month of September, August and September, but then it's right back at it.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, I think about the sports my kids are involved in, soccer or wrestling, and they're hardcore. Certainly wrestling is, but they've got music, they've got sweat. They're not alone looking at the tiles at the bottom of the pool for 5 hours a day, right? Like, that takes a certain mental, resiliency, no?
For sure. I think one of the things they say about swimmers is that we're good in math. And part of that is you're constantly counting laps, you're constantly counting times, you're constantly looking at what set you're on, what set number. And so it does become you and the pool a lot of times. So it takes a special kind for sure.
How big is the market you're in the swimming business too. So like, are there a ton of swimmers in the US? I don't know how big that sport is.
There's approximately 270,000 households that have swimmers in them. It's estimated that USA Swimming, which is the governing body of competitive swimming, has approximately 400,000 registered swimmers. That would be swimmers under the age of 18. From 19 years old on up to 100, USMS, which is master swimming, has approximately 70,000 people. But what's interesting about swimming is that the summer swimming league is a completely unique animal of its own. Virtually every neighborhood in the country has a swimming pool. They compete against other teams. Those kids only practice for 5 or 6 weeks over the summer. And it's estimated that number jumps up to about 5 million kids that participate in some sort of competitive swimming. It's a unique market.
That's a much bigger sport, but that's less competitive than.
Correct. It's much more about just having fun and hanging out with your buddies and and swimming against the one of the neighboring neighborhoods.
Well, one of our sayings at Spartan is save the fun for later. So I'm really focused on that 400,000 competitive set. Those maniacs. We have some buddies that are Spartan athletes that are rowers in Croatia, and they have an enormous amount of gold medals. They're some of the best rowers in the world, two-man crew, two-man boat. And they're like 8 or 9 years of 7 hours a day, 7 days a week. So wow. similar kind of thing, right? Like, correct. Like a lot of people just don't realize what it takes. And by the way, there's only going to be a couple of all those swimmers and all those years and all those counting tiles and laps. Like, there's only a few that make it to the highest level, right?
That is correct. The Olympic swimming trials in Indianapolis, there were, I believe, 1,700 swimmers. That's male and female. And that got narrowed down to an Olympic team of, I believe, 35 or so total swimmers. So it's to reach the top. If you identify the Olympics as reaching the top, it's a very select few that requires a lot of commitment and timing, and you got to peak at the right time, and it's very limited for sure.
And you probably got to have the perfect body and the perfect size foot, and everything else has got to be lined up as well. It's
pretty important. Body type, especially with men, the body type and your size is very important. There's exceptions. There are some incredible swimmers who have set world records and didn't necessarily have the height or the size that you might think, but they've made it up in other areas like cardio or in just work ethic.
Is it true? My buddy and I were fighting just the other day. I didn't even know I was going to have you on. We were arguing over this idea that Phelps's coach, at least I heard this, Phelps's coach would break his goggles, would throw obstacles in his way in those early years, knowing where they were eventually going to go, and wanted to make sure that he had the mental resilience to deal with adversity, because who knows, I guess, in that final match, if your goggles come off in the middle of the swim, or you forgot your bag, or your airline ticket gets screwed up. Any truth to that?
I can't answer that for sure. I know Bowman, his coach. I don't know Michael very well, but I've met him several times, and he was, of course, both of them were inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. Michael started when he was 15. He kind of came out of nowhere in the 2000 Olympics and qualified, and that was his first time we saw him on the world stage. His Olympics were good. He didn't. I think he placed 6th or 7th in the Olympics, and but I think that he was inspired by the rest of the teammates to realize what it took to kind of get to the next level. And of course, the rest is history. He was not just the greatest swimmer of all time so far, but I just read an article. He's ranked number 1 as the best athlete of the century. That's a pretty good accomplishment.
Wasn't anything special up until the age of, like you said, 15, 16, 7. That's pretty unbelievable, right? That's pretty rare.
It is very rare. Just a very unique, perfect body, perfect feet, great mental attitude. Takes a lot out of you. He's basically retired, and justifiably so. It was a rough ride for sure for him, but his accomplishments are just amazing.
You grew up with a hardcore, iron-fisted swim coach.
I did.
Yeah, how'd that go?
You know what? It was not fun at times. Obviously, that you don't really want to get up. And I grew up in Denver, and it's cold in the winter, and driving in a cold car at 5 a.m, headed to swim practice with your dad isn't always fun, but it was fun to be good. My dad was always watching at the time films and reading books and trying to get better and lower records. And my brother and I both had state records. My brother had a national record for I think a week, but there was some payoff to it. And the life lessons that you learn from all of that carry with you forever. We still swim occasionally, not nearly as much as we used to, but we both learned a lot, and it really made us who we are today.
You think it's helped you? It's helped you in relationships and business and other parts of your life?
For sure. Adversity, how to get through tough times. In swimming, you're always, every other year, you're the oldest or the youngest in your age group. When you're the youngest in the age group, you may not be at the top. You may not be in the finals. And so, you have this every other year opportunity to get better and to get more challenged. And so you learn a little bit of both. You learn how to win, you learn how to lose.
Give us some tips at home, whether swimming or other life lessons, from your years and doing that and being around the best of the best and writing about in your magazine. What it's called, Swimmer's World. What's the name of the magazine?
Yeah, it's called Swimming World Magazine. Yeah. We're broadening a whole bunch of articles with between health and fitness as well as diet and exercise. But swimming is also a family of really good people. I always say that it's amazing to be involved in this sport because it truly is just the best mix of human beings. From the athletes to the parents to the coaches, it takes a lot of dedication to be a big part of swimming. And I think that one of the things that you learn how to do is to watch other people and to learn from why they're having success. And some of it is physical, some of it is mental, some of it is attitude. And I think that as you meet other people, especially at the elite level, you take a little bit from each one of them.
Everybody that listens to the podcast as part of Sport, we're looking to optimize our lives in some way. Like what should we do every day to make ourselves better, get through those tough times? What do you suggest? Not everybody's going to be waking up at 5 a.m, jumping in the pool. Right.
So are you thinking like tips on how to develop a workout schedule, or just how to
organize? It could be anything. It could be, listen, when I had to get up for those 10 years in Denver, I would drink tea every morning. I would pray. Right. I would look at my phone. I don't know. What do you suggest?
Yeah, I think that it's a routine. I think the more that you can establish the same routine every day, that is one of the keys that you do learn from doing stuff like that. And yeah, nobody wants to get up at 5:30 on a Saturday morning when you really don't have to, but you do find that if you kind of stay on your routine, it becomes a lot easier to just accomplish tasks of the day. Unscripted. Ironically, I was here at work today at about 6:15. I was up at 5:15. I was queuing up kind of some tasks and things that I needed to get done for today, sending emails out to people so that my day was organized and essentially plan for it to be over by noon. And if you plan for that, then all of the things that creep up in the morning, you have time in the afternoon to knock out. So I'm a creature of habit, and I just do better when I'm on a routine. And if I need a little extra sleep, sometimes I'm 58. I can take a nap. I don't do that very often, but I have found as I get older that if you run short a couple of days in a row, it's not too bad to get a 30-minute nap in. But otherwise, I just think staying on your routine.
I heard recently on a podcast, the most important thing you could do that's really game changing for your life is go to bed at the same time. And when you're saying, listen, whether it's Saturday, whether it's Sunday, whether it's the day after your birthday, whether it's Christmas, it doesn't matter. Try to stick and be disciplined about that same, standard that you right? Because yeah, I couldn't agree more. Not easy for most people. Even my own family, I have this battle with. I've had to bring in bagpipers and parrots and all kinds of things to get everybody up early in the morning. But people make their mistake at night, right? They make their mistake at night, not in the morning. What time do you go to bed? What are you eating or drinking late at night? What are you scrolling late at night? That affects how on target you'll be, I guess, in the morning, but I like that.
For sure. Yes.
How do people find you?
So we are at swimmingworld.com. We have a brand new app that you can download. If you're an Apple user, you can it is Swimming World app. It's in beta form. So there are some, it's all free, but we've got some interesting articles, and we've got the Olympic swimming guide. If you're a swimming nerd, you can download the guide. It'll tell you for every race who the last 4 world records were, who the last 4 Olympic champions were, the whole history of the event, which is really interesting. And as you're watching, you would have an encyclopedia of knowledge right in front of you.
I love it. All right. Well, everybody listening, make sure you jump in a pool tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., do 5 hours, and realize what real swimmers do every day.
You got it.
Thanks for being here.
You bet. Much appreciated.